The familiar ache of repetition, that feeling you've lived this moment before in some slightly altered script. It's not just a feeling, it's a signature, a vibrational echo of an observer holding firm. You're not stuck in a rut. You're stuck in a way of seeing. The outer world, the perceived reality, is simply reflecting the inner stillness of your perspective. A fixed gaze on a moving stream will always make the water appear static. Think of it. The countless times you've tried to break a cycle, only to find yourself back at the starting line. Each attempt, each surge of effort, was merely poured into the existing mold of your perception. You were trying to change the painting while still looking through the same frame. The irony is brutal. Your desire for change, unfocused through a new lens, reinforces the very reality you wish to escape. It's a feedback loop, elegant in its cruelty, hidden in plain sight. This isn't a flaw in you, it's a fundamental principle of how reality renders itself. Your reality hasn't shifted because your internal observer hasn't. But what if your every glance wasn't just passive viewing, but an active force? And before we dive deeper, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell. These revelations aren't random, and if this video found you, it was meant to. Now let's begin. Every moment is a choice, even if unconscious. Your eyes are not just receiving light, they are actively dictating the field. Each blink, each flicker of focus is a micro-collapse, solidifying one potential into your present. You are literally pulling reality into form with every glance. Imagine walking into a room full of possibilities. With your attention, you don't just notice the furniture, you highlight it, solidify its presence for you. Everything else subtly fades, becoming less real. This isn't a metaphor, it's the operational mechanics. The reason your outcomes often feel predetermined is because your gaze is often predetermined. It's trained, habituated to seek out the familiar, the safe, the expected. You are perpetually confirming your existing story, and reality obliges. This isn't about positive thinking, it's about the physics of observation. What you look at, what you hold in your awareness, literally gains mass in your subjective reality. This isn't woo-woo, it's the quantum mirror reflecting your internal state back to you. Your perceived world is not fixed. It's perpetually collapsing around your attention. But is attention truly knowing? Many confuse attention with awareness, but they are vastly different functions. Attention is a spotlight, a focused beam of energy that illuminates and solidifies. Awareness is the entire stage, the field of all potentials, seen and unseen. When you direct your attention, you are writing code. You are inputting parameters into the universal rendering engine, specifying what aspects of the field should become manifest for you. This code is precise, relentless, and unforgiving. Your subconscious filters act as pre-programmed instructions, guiding where that spotlight automatically shines. These filters are not personal flaws. They are learned scripts, deeply embedded from past experiences and inherited beliefs. They determine the default code. So, while you might consciously desire one thing, if your attention is constantly drawn to lack or struggle, you are coding for that. Your inner focus becomes the operative command, dictating the outer manifestation. It's a silent, powerful language. This constant, unconscious coding creates an inertia, a persistent hum that vibrates through your every experience. This isn't just a mental habit, it's a quantum anchor. You are not just observing reality, you are being observed by it, specifically by the inertial force of your own established identity. This isn't a psychological concept. It's a fundamental energy signature. Your identity is a vibrational echo, a deeply grooved pathway in the quantum field. Every thought, every belief held with conviction, every patterned emotion adds to this inertia. It's like a constant broadcast telling the universe, "This is who I am, render more of this." And the universe, being a perfect mirror, obliges. This is why change feels so difficult. You are not just shifting habits. You are attempting to subtly alter a profound energetic imprint. The old identity, like a stubborn ghost, continues to haunt your new intentions, pulling you back to familiar landscapes. This echo doesn't just dictate your actions. It preconfigures your perceptions. It decides what you notice, what you dismiss, and what you interpret as real. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy playing out on a quantum stage. Your identity is not static. It's a dynamic, oscillating loop that shapes your reality. But how precisely does this loop get coded and maintained? The universe isn't just responding to your intentions, it's responding to your deepest expectations. This is the core of the loop mechanism. Expectation isn't a passive hope, it's an active, preemptive collapse of potential, a blueprint for what's coming next. Every time you anticipate an outcome, whether positive or negative, you are energetically codifying it. You are telling the quantum field, prepare for this, because this is what I expect to encounter. This acts as a powerful attractor. This expectation is often subconscious, built from prior experiences and observations. If you've repeatedly faced struggle in a certain area, your expectation of future struggle becomes a default setting. It's a subtle but relentless instruction. The loop works by confirming itself. When your expectation manifests, it strengthens the belief that led to that expectation, creating a more robust loop for the next cycle. It's a self-reinforcing circuit of perception and manifestation. It leaves behind an imprint. This loop isn't unbreakable, but it requires a subtle shift in the coding. Not a grand upheaval, but precise, almost surgical alterations to the data stream. The grand gesture is often overrated. True shifts begin with micro-collapses, tiny alterations in your internal operating system. These are not about forcing an outcome, they are about subtly changing the input. Think of gently nudging a mirror. Even a slight angle alteration changes the entire reflection. Similarly, a minute shift in your attention, a momentary redirection of your observational energy, can begin to fray the edges of the old loop. This could be as simple as pausing for one extra second before reacting to a familiar trigger, or consciously choosing to notice one unexpected detail in a previously mundane situation. These small acts of observational defiance accumulate. Each microshift sends a new signal, a new instruction to the quantum field. It's like rewriting a single line of code in a vast program. Individually, they seem insignificant, but their cumulative effect dismantles the old and builds the new. These small, intentional breaches in the pattern begin to introduce new data, new possibilities that were previously obscured by the dominating loop. But where do the strongest loops originate? Your past is not just a collection of events. It's a deeply embedded memory code, a vibrational frequency that continues to resonate in your present reality. This code dictates your default perceptions, framing your free will within its parameters. Every significant experience, every repeated emotion, every core belief sculpts this memory code. It acts like a gravitational pull, drawing similar experiences and interpretations into your field. You are literally observing your past into existence over and over. This isn't about being trapped. It's about the efficiency of the quantum field. It assumes your past experiences are the most reliable indicators of your preferred reality. Unless you consciously intervene, it will continue to render from that established blueprint. You might think you are making new choices, but if those choices are filtered through the lens of old memories, they will inevitably lead to familiar outcomes. It's a powerful illusion of control within a prescripted loop. This hidden code is not always your own. Sometimes, other observers project their realities onto yours, creating unseen scripts that subtly hijack your awareness. Your reality is not an isolated experiment. It's a complex, interwoven tapestry of observations, and not all of them are your own. The expectations, beliefs, and perceptions of those around you can act as unseen scripts, subtly influencing the outcomes you perceive. Think of it as a low-frequency broadcast. When someone deeply believes something about you, whether positive or negative, their sustained observation creates a subtle energetic field. If your own energetic field is permeable, you can unconsciously begin to resonate with it. This is why breaking free from certain family patterns or societal expectations can feel so arduous. You are not only battling your own internal loops, but also contending with the projected observations of a collective. Their gaze collapses possibilities for you. This isn't about blaming others. It's about understanding the mechanics of co-creation. You are constantly in a dance of observation and counter-observation. Becoming aware of these unseen scripts is the first step to rewriting them. The resistance to change, the feeling of being pulled back, often comes from these external scripts maintaining their hold. This external pressure can lead to a paradox that strengthens the very thing you wish to escape. There's a subtle but powerful trap in quantum manifestation, the paradox of effort. When you try too hard, when you exert immense force against a perceived problem, you often strengthen the very loop you're desperately trying to break. This isn't about laziness, it's about the nature of attention. Intense effort, especially effort born from struggle or resistance, places immense focus on the problem itself. Your energy, your observational light, inadvertently illuminates and solidifies the unwanted reality. Think of a struggling swimmer. The more they fight the current, the more exhausted they become and the less progress they make. Their desperate flailing is a form of intense observation of the current's power, lending it more reality. True shift comes not from brute force, but from a gentle redirection. It's about subtly changing the angle of your gaze, allowing the old reality to naturally dissipate from lack of observational energy, rather than fighting it head-on. This constant reinforcement of the old, even through resistance, creates a delay, a persistent echo that keeps showing up long after you thought you moved on. This is the phenomenon of reality lag. You've made the internal shift. You've consciously recoded, chosen a new direction, planted new intentions. Yet for a period, the old reality, the old circumstances, continue to manifest. This is reality lag, and it's a crucial aspect of quantum mechanics. Think of it like a ripple effect. When you drop a stone into a pond, the initial impact is immediate, but the ripples take time to propagate across the entire surface. Your internal shift is the stone, the outward reality is the pond. The universe isn't instantaneous in its rendering because it requires consensus. The old reality has inertia, a solidified momentum from prolonged observation. It takes time for the new, subtler signals to override and dissipate the old, dominant ones. During this lag period, it's easy to doubt, to think your shift hasn't worked. But this is precisely when steadfastness is needed. Don't reobserve the old into existence simply because it still appears. It's a ghost in the machine, fading. These lingering echoes, these almost but not quite changes, are not failures. They are signals, cracks in the matrix, indicating that change is indeed underway. Sometimes reality doesn't just lag, it glitches. Strange coincidences, repeated numbers, unexpected encounters, symbols appearing everywhere. These aren't random, they are cracks in the matrix, invitations from the quantum field. These synchronicities are signals that your internal observer is shifting, even subtly. The universe is acknowledging your new trajectory, offering glimpses of alternative potentials that are starting to align with your newly emerging code. Think of them as feedback loops, confirming that the old code is beginning to unravel. They are moments when the invisible wiring of reality becomes momentarily visible, hinting at the malleability of everything you perceive as solid. These glitches are opportunities. They invite you to lean into the new, to pay attention to where your focus is being drawn differently. They are nudges, urging you to step outside the well-worn grooves of your old expectations. But if attention is what collapses reality, what happens if you withdraw it completely from the old and don't reapply it? Can non-attention forge something new? We've established that attention collapses reality. It solidifies potential into form. So, what happens if you intentionally withhold attention from a particular reality you no longer desire? Can non-attention, a deliberate observational vacuum, lead to a completely new feed? This isn't about ignoring problems, it's about a sophisticated act of energetic withdrawal. When you cease to actively observe, to energetically feed a particular reality with your focus, its coherence begins to fray. It literally loses its realness for you. Imagine a spotlight that's been fixed on one point. When you turn that spotlight off, the area doesn't immediately cease to exist, but it fades, becomes indistinct, and eventually loses its prominence in your field of vision. This requires immense discipline because the old loops are persistent. They will constantly try to draw your attention back, offering familiar triggers and patterns. But each time you consciously redirect or simply refuse to apply attention, you weaken their hold significantly. By ceasing to observe the old, you create a void, a blank space where new potentials can emerge, unburdened by the pre-coded expectations of the past. This isn't just a mental exercise. This isn't just information you've processed. Every word, every concept presented here was designed to act as a collapse trigger within your own observational field. You are now observing your own observation. By exposing the hidden mechanics, the unseen scripts, and the subtle loops, this video has already begun to subtly alter the energetic parameters of your present reality. Knowing how the mirror works changes what it can reflect. The discomfort, the dawning recognition, the feeling of "I knew this all along, but couldn't name it," these are not just emotions. They are the subtle reverberations of your old identity structure beginning to destabilize. Your awareness has been recalibrated. You can no longer unsee these mechanisms. That awareness itself is a new data point, a new input into your personal rendering engine. The old ways of seeing have been challenged, and that challenge opens pathways for new realities to emerge. This is not the end of a lesson. It's the beginning of a new observation. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.